State against state. Mate against mate.
We're not mates.
Well, you then.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our great friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give everyone some love. Dan, I didn't love the short weekend of footy.
Hated it.
Absolutely.
Rubbish.
You know what I do love though?
What's that, Terry?
New South Wales can't sell out their game one. I'm surprised. Have you got a freebie?
No.
Well, you're cheap, so...
That's true.
No, I
Just call me out on camera. I'm not going, full disclosure. It's about 4 degrees out there, which is why we're...
Yeah, it's freezing.
And they want like $200 for a ticket. I'm not paying that for the Sharks, let alone Origin.
Yeah, no, look, it's...
Queensland will still sell out.
Yeah, what do we do about midweek Origin games though? This is the talk now.
It's not going to change.
No.
You get 2 million viewers. It's all about Channel 9, and the kickoff's going to be about midnight this year if Channel 9 get their way. But I'm not paying over $50 to go and sit and be cold for a game that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, look, whether it's midweek or Saturday, it's still going to be freezing cold anyway.
It's going to be cold, and look, on Wednesday night, it's the only thing that'll matter in my life is Origin. But before and
but
after,
not being there.
Who cares?
Woo, not being there. We got some news apart from
some big news, some exciting news.
What's the first one?
Football was bad this week.
Oh,
Really bad.
week of footy.
Really bad week.
Look, I don't think it was Origin related.
No, well, the Titans missed one player, and they were terrible.
Yep. You convinced the world on camera that the Gold Coast Titans were good pre-season. You convinced me that we had to have them in the top 8. They come up against the North Queensland Cowboys team, missing Origin stars and handicapped with Chad Townsend, and lost by 20.
I've apologised for this, both publicly and privately, and I'll do so again. I'm sorry. I was sold a bluff. The Titans are disgusting. By far the worst team in
Not
that
named the
state.
Canterbury Bulldogs, yeah.
Up there in Queensland. They entered the season undisputed favourites for a 4X Cup. They're running away with a wooden spoon. They
entered the season as everyone's picked to be like legitimate top 4 threats.
Absolutely.
What has gone wrong?
They suck.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. They're a horrible football team. They look like they've never met.
Look, I want to say this, and I know it's going to cause a little bit of conjecture with you, but I actually think the problem with the Gold Coast Titans is AJ Brimson.
He's not playing that well. I don't think he's the problem. I think the problem is they got $1 million forward that's playing like he's getting paid a third of that. Mm-hmm. And when he breaks down, the whole team just goes, what are we going to do without Big Fafita?
I'll counterpunch you on that because Jaden Campbell is a sensational fullback and he's going to be a class player for a long time. Toby Sexton is a controlling halfback. AJ Brimson is not a very good 5'8", and he's not a better fullback. Where do you put him?
He was going to play fullback because Jaden Campbell did his hamstring. He had 100% of the try assists for the Titans the other night.
And Toby Sexton had 100% of the tries, so...
Well, there you go. There's your halves combo.
Yeah,
the rest of the team is no good.
No.
Everything's gone wrong up there. I think the coach has got to go. I think the recruitment has been terrible.
Dreadful.
They just signed every big name they can, offered them big money, and they've padded it with nobodies. Mm-hmm. Sucks to say, because I really like the Titans. I don't respect anyone that has a second favourite team, but if I was gonna, it'd probably be them.
No, not for me. Also, as well, look, the Bulldogs come up against Penrith's reserve grade team. This was a strong Canterbury lineup, as strong as it gets for them, against the Penrith team that,
missing 36 Origin stars.
Yeah.
They got pumped.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we were talking about how it might be a close game because of the players out. Kurt Falls comes in, was the best half on the field.
He is sensational. Like, I wouldn't be giving more than the TED. I'd be giving that to him.
Well, yes, absolutely.
I would absolutely be giving that. Classy goal kicker as well.
Absolutely. He's going to play some football over the next few weeks because Cleary showed his hand last year. He's going to rest players during the Origin period.
Yep, absolutely.
And it worked last year, so they're going to do it again. Falls is probably going to have 3, 4, maybe even 5 games to push his value up. I dare say a few teams will be knocking on the doors.
I mean, he is literally the one player that the Dolphins should be going after.
They're the kind of players, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely they are. But look, Penrith again, too much depth in that team.
Way too good.
Yeah, way too good. Look, the game between Manly and the Warriors, if anyone was Origin affected, it was
the
Manly. It was Manly. Like, they were without DCE.
Who?
Exactly. And they got absolutely
No, they were way
annihilated.
too good. They were way too good for the Warriors.
And then, obviously the Roosters today missed Tedesco. Look, Joey Manu, he's not Tedesco.
No, he's not. I think he's...
He had 31 runs, but did nothing with those runs.
Oh, get out of here.
He had 31 runs for 200 metres. That's pathetic.
Yeah, they were missing Tedesco, that's true, and a few other players. But Canberra were missing players too, and they got home. So good on them.
Yeah, they missed the spark that, they did miss the spark that Teddy brings.
If you're going to take one player out, you don't want it to be Tedesco. But, counterpoint, Jack Whiten's been Canberra's best for most of the season, so...
Jared Warner-Hargraves big out as well for the Roosters, he destroyed us.
He did, unfortunately. I hate that bloke. He always plays well against us. I want to counterpoint. I want to counterpunch you this time on this day of Australian boxing. All the outs, yes, but the in, Luke Keary, they got to work out what's happening there because he's no good.
Yeah, look, it's the Sam Walker show at the moment, isn't it?
Certainly is, for good reason. There's a couple of players that are off contract, big for feeders looking for a new contract, Payne Haas, etc. I think Luke Keary's going to get tapped on the shoulder sooner than later.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Now, last week, Terry, we were very positive on the New South Wales side because I think Freddie Fittler got it right. Now, before we went to air, Fittler went, nah, screw these guys, and absolutely hammered us. He took Nico Hines out of the 17, put him as 18th man, took Jack Whiten and put him in the centres and took a superstar centre and put him on the bench. I've tried to figure Freddie Fittler out. It can't be done. What's he thinking?
No one can figure that man out there. Look, I wouldn't have cared if Jack Whiten was the 14 or Nico was the 14.
That's fine, like for like.
But why would you put the best centre in the game on the bench for an ordinary 5'8" to come and play in the centres? Jack Whiten has played one series at centre and was terrible.
Yeah, he got bathed.
He got absolutely annihilated by Dane Gagai. Guess who he's marking? Dane Gagai.
I don't get it. It's like he's trying to play Queensland into the competition. They don't need help. There's no Turbo this year. He was the difference last year.
Yeah.
New South Wales destroyed Queensland.
And Mitchell,
Latrell. And both are gone. They don't need any more help, Freddie.
No, if you're ever going to replace Turbo and Mitchell, it was with Stephen Crichton and Katoni Staggs.
Simple. Easy. And he did that momentarily and then went, no.
Yeah, it's like Freddie has his own bender in his mind and is like, whatever.
Probably changed 4 times between now and Wednesday, but don't like it.
Yeah. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
Highlight, lowlight.
Big week.
I got the highlight this week.
Please.
The highlight for me is the Penrith Panthers. Now, hear me out, because a lot of people are going to turn and go, oh, how boring. But when you see a team this good, that's winning so well, and loses 6 players, 7 during the week. So Api Coruscant wasn't there.
Yep.
Only got released back on the Thursday. They played on the Friday. And when you see a team bring up all these emerging stars that are going to get snapped up elsewhere, it's good exposure for them.
Definitely is.
But, the way they win, they play good footy. It's great to watch. Guys like Dylan Edwards, he didn't miss a beat without his halves partners there.
True.
But when they come crashing down, they'll also be in the highlight as well.
You reckon they're going to come crashing down?
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. The highlight for me, Terry, and this hurts to say because I'm a big fan of Shaun Johnson, but we've seen a host of fantastic signings this year. Burton, Hines, we've seen firsthand. But Shaun Johnson is under-delivering, and I'm trying to be nice here because he was good for the Sharks. He got us to a finals we probably didn't otherwise deserve. But with the game on the line, Johnson goes missing. He's kicked a couple of field goals. Okay, great. But Reece Walsh, Harris Tavita, Ronald Volkman is the way forward.
Yeah, look, Harris Tavita has literally busted a nut for this team.
He has literally busted, and he said he's not coming back next year. He needs
and that's what the Warriors have done. Like, you're in a bad spot where Matt Lodge doesn't want to play for you because not many clubs are able to sign that guy. But, Yeah, look, Sean Johnson, I don't know if he needs a rest. I don't know if he needs to retire. He probably should have gone to rugby.
Yeah, speaking of rest, I don't think he's going to be given a choice.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be given a choice. But I think the stink around the Warriors is more than Sean Johnson. But I think Sean Johnson is the top of the mound. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, there's some underlying issues there. Now, I saw a lot of people saying you're a horrible person if you dunk on the Warriors. I'll say in 2020, if you dunked on the Warriors, you were a horrible person. Mm-hmm. In 2021, towards the end of it, you were like, okay, but whatever, okay? 2022, there's no excuse. You've been in Australia for 3 years now. Most of the families are over here. You know, I don't care. And people turn around and go, oh, the Warriors kept the competition alive. Yeah, they did. But you know what? Next year, there's 17 teams. If the Warriors didn't play, there would have been 15 teams, which means we would have had a bye.
Oh, well.
So, you know what? Like, Sean Johnson stinks. The Warriors stink. Nathan Brown stinks. Long may they lose.
Well, it's good to see you being so positive this week, Terry. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
It's time for the Guru.
Oh.
The star of the show, dare I suggest?
No, don't suggest that.
Okay, well, not the star of the show, but still a very important part. Guru, what do you got for us this week, mate?
Hey boys, thanks for having me on once again. State of Origin week, probably the most exciting week of the NRL season in my opinion. Great time, State of Origin. The teams have been picked. I'm hearing they will both go 1 to 17. But what's your team list there? I'm not expecting Freddie or Slater to make any changes to those sides that they named the other day though. We mentioned last week Sean Johnson. Now keep an eye on the situation of the New Zealand Warriors because it is getting worse before it gets better. There is pressure mounting on the coach, Nathan Brown, on the halfback, Sean Johnson. The 5'8", Chanel Harris-Tavita, he announced last week that he's not going to play rugby league next year. Still managed to hold a spot in the team, though, which was a very interesting one. As I said last week, Ronald Volkman, he is getting closer and closer to a debut. So keep an eye on him. I think you'll see him debut over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Over at your Sharkies boys, Dale Finucane, I'm hearing that unfortunately the amount of HIAs he's received recently might keep him out of the game a little bit longer than what we've been told by media and the club. So keep an eye on that situation. Dale, he's simply too tough for his own good. He puts his head where I wouldn't put my foot. Such a tough footballer, such an inspirational leader. But I'm hearing that they will take their time with him, the Cronulla Sharks, so keep an eye on that one. Ryan Pappenhausen, a lot of people tipped him to make his Origin debut this year, and he might well have if it wasn't for this injury. It actually gave him a chance to heal up on a heap of injuries he's been carrying all season. I'm expecting him to be named in first grade, if not this weekend, definitely the weekend after. So keep an eye on Ryan Pappenhausen returning, and one for you Supercoach and fantasy players. Pappy, you'll be looking to bring him in very, very soon. The Bulldogs, they made a change that I thought they should have made a few weeks ago with Matt Duffy moving out of the 1 jersey and Jake Averillo jumping back there. Corey Allen came in the centres, but I don't think you'll see Corey Allen this weekend defensively. He was very, very poor the other night. But Jake Averillo at fullback, he looks to be great there. I think they will be keeping with him long term, and personally, I think you might have seen Matt Duffy play his last game for the Canterbury Bulldogs. We'll see how it plays out. Reportedly signed with Warrington for next season. He will not be at Canterbury next year, Matt Duffy, and I reckon there's a really good chance that he's played his last game for them as it stands right now. Just keep an eye on Jake Averillo. They've messed around with him all year, or over the last 2 years, playing at halfback, 5'8", centre. For me, he's always been a fullback. So keep an eye on Jake Averillo actually being allowed to play his favoured position. Canterbury not going too good, but they're building for the future, and I think Averillo, he could be their future one for quite some time. Now, Parramatta, they've released and lost a lot of guys. Isaiah Papali'i, Reid Marnie. We're hearing that Ryan Madison, he will join the Dolphins over the next few weeks, could potentially be their captain as well. But one guy they have signed is Jermaine Hopgood. Now, a guy that he probably isn't a huge name in the NRL as it stands right now, but I believe at Parramatta, he'll turn into a bit of a sneaky weapon. I think he could be one of the buys of the season next year, one of the underrated buys of the season. Parramatta, they have a bit of a history with buying guys for unders and turning them into very, very good players. I think Jermaine Hopgood, he's one that I've seen a lot of Parramatta fans complaining about. Why did we buy him? He did a similar thing when they signed Isaiah Papali'i. Keep an eye on Hopgood. I think he's going to be the goods, excuse the pun, over the next few years at Parramatta.
Whew.
Bringing the heat.
Yeah.
Bringing the fire. It's good stuff there. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
It's time to talk some black, white and blue.
Well, we didn't lose.
Ding. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
Top sport tips time. And Terry, I've been waiting, 15 weeks to say this. I got a perfect round. No asterisks. No asterisks.
Is that what I mean?
No asterisks, perfect round.
A perfect round's a perfect round. I'm with you on this.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I thought just yo beauty.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking picking the Warriors.
You weren't thinking,
I
obviously.
wasn't thinking. But look, our friends at Top Sport, again, you've lined your pockets. 3 out of 4 tips I got this week.
Not bad.
Unfortunate, but you know what? This is what we're here for.
That's it. It's time to
Cash in.
another perfect round, I think. And to make up for 4 games last week, we're going to cover all the games this week.
We've got 9 games to get through now.
Easy.
Wednesday night,
The big one?
the big one. Out at the Core Stadium, Homebush, the middle of nowhere, New South Wales Blues take on Queensland Maroons. This is what we live for every year. Not really. But Dan, talk to me about the game.
It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. Got 17 players that know what they're doing, and your lot. And your coach.
Well, you don't have a coach that knows what he's doing, as we've just discussed beforehand.
Yes, okay, I don't disagree with that. But he's got a couple of series wins under his belt. So I believe, Freddie, never doubted you for a second.
No, look, it's going to be an absolute cracking series. Again, Queensland, entered this series with a lot of players in form.
Or much better side than last year.
The Cowboys in great form. The Broncos, they're riding the back of Adam Reynolds and Payne Haas, 2 New South Welshmen.
That's true.
But because of those guys, players like Pat Carrigan, even Flegler, who didn't make the team, but he's a lot better this year as well. Young Selwyn Cobber, I can't wait to see him play. Xavier Coates as well out there. Cam Munster, arguably former player of the competition.
Absolutely. Exciting side.
Yeah. Look, Cherry Evans, he's in there. Ben Hunt playing some good footy, leading the Daly M's.
That's true.
I love this Queensland team. There are a few changes I want to make here or there. I don't know how Jai Arrow missed out on that team. I don't know how he missed out. But other than that, I think this is the Queensland team that can stick it to New South Wales. With the rules coming back, the whistle goes away. I think it's going to be a close game on Wednesday night.
It's definitely going to be a close game. Now, I think Queensland have got the coaching spot on. You think 3 players that, bleed Queensland, they've named them. And, of course, Greg Inglis will probably end up coaching his childhood team, the New South Wales Blues. I think this game will be real close. I think it'll come down to a play or two. I just think Nathan Cleary is just that little bit better than everyone else on the field. I think the Blues will win.
I was going to say, it's going to come down to 2 players for mine. And the 2 players that are going to determine this series, it's going to be Munster, Cherry Evans, or Cleary and Luai. On Wednesday night, I think it's going to be Cleary and Luai. However, I pick Queensland.
That's fair enough. I don't, last year if you'd picked Queensland, I would have laughed you out of the building. But this year, this is going to be a good series.
Well, I picked him in game 3 just because I didn't want to whitewash.
Look, that's true, and you did get that one right. But
I got the other 2 right as well.
I'm looking forward to this.
I am as
well. Before
well.
they head west of Perth, I think the Blues go with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I think they're going to go in. I think they're going to go in with a 1-0 lead, but I'm going to pick Queensland. Now let's talk about some real footy. Friday night, up in Townsville, the North Queensland Cowboys, the red-hot Cowboys. No one saw this coming this year. Cowboys taking on the St George Illawarra Dragons.
A thriller of a game.
It's actually going to be a very, very good game because the Cowboys in incredible form and the Dragons are literally in this competition because of Ben Hunt.
Yeah, well, if he's got one play, he's leading the Daly M's, which really says a lot about the Daly M's. But positives. Cowboys by plenty. Can't see it going any other way.
I can't see it going any other way unless there's players that don't back up.
That is going to make this week very hard, which is why we're going to expertly tip a perfect round, of course. No, you are actually. Later you'll see why. Some players may miss this game, but I would argue that it being a short turnaround actually helps because the players can play, they're still up. Coming down, it's going to be very hard to play Sunday, Monday.
Correct, yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. I think maybe the forwards, but people like Val Holmes will come back into this team as well. Tom Dearden, obviously the 18th man, so he's the concussion. Don't forget Nico Hines is going to be there as the 18th man. But look, I think the Cowboys, their class is going to be too much on this.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, and if the Dragons can't back Ben Hunt up, they're done.
Well, they're going to have to back him up, aren't they?
Super Saturday kicks off with the Gold Coast Titans against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Your Titans, Dan, this is it for them.
Must win for the Titans.
I read they have to win 9 out of 10 games to even think about making 8th.
It's done.
Season's done.
It is absolutely done.
Yeah,
I
and
think
the Bunnies are going to bury it.
I think the Bunnies end them on Saturday afternoon. Now, the Bunnies themselves are not playing good football. They had a good second half against the low-flying Tigers. But, I mean, you and I could beat the Titans, so this is fait accompli.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Bunnies in this one. I picked the Bunnies quite well. 5:30, we have the Sydney Roosters against the Melbourne Storm. The Roosters are at home. Origin players backing up. Storm in different form recently. Cam Munster, everyone back. Pappenhausen.
Look, Pappenhausen's going to be back.
Maybe.
This could be very interesting. Tedesco, Pappenhausen, straight shootout.
Storm
Sign me up.
Storm for
Oh,
mine.
yeah, Melbourne too good. What's still with halves at the Chooks?
To finish off the Super Saturday, we have the Brisbane Broncos against the Canberra Raiders up there at Suncorp.
Oh, this will be a good game.
This is going to be cracking. The Raiders are in great form. Knocking on the door of the top 8.
Yeah, they are a couple wins in a row now.
I think the Broncos are going to close that door just temporarily on them.
Brisbane for mine. I just think they're just a little bit better than what the Raiders. If this game was in Canberra, whoosh.
Yeah. Now, the Broncos had the bye, and they've had extra weeks to rest Adam Reynolds. He should be back. Do you go with Tyson Gamble or Ezra Mann?
Gamble.
You go with Gamble.
I do, because Ezra Mann just played the Reynolds role perfectly. He did very, very well, but I just think they go with Tyson Gamble.
I'd probably stick with Tyson Gamble for now, but the minute Gamble's out of form, you bring Ezra back up.
Yeah, you do, and there's your halves pairing for the next 3
He
years.
looks a hell of a player, Ezra Mann.
Looks real good.
Now we have a Super Sunday.
Super Sunday.
3 games on Sunday. Now, what's not super about it is the Tigers of the game 1 against Manly. I don't know where it's played because the Tigers have got 9 home grounds.
Pick one.
Pick one anywhere.
Campbell.
Hopefully it's not at Leichhardt because that ground's terrible. But I am going to tip Manly in this game, and I don't know why. Dan, tell me why.
Because they're not the Tigers.
Fair enough.
Straight up. Manly for mine. They look really good. Ruben Garrick is hugely underrated.
Completely underrated. Like, how his name didn't come up in an Origin discussion.
A big, tall, fast winger. It's what everyone wants. But I would say he's starring at fullback.
Yeah, look, the minute Turbo goes down, obviously you're like, wow. You know, but then you got this guy.
Could do worse.
You bring in Jason Saab. Now he's got his confidence back. He scored a couple of tries. Cool out on the wing. He's playing really well. Morgan Harper, after getting dusted by Talakai, Jesus, he's turned it around.
Resurgence.
Yeah, now Foran's going to go back into the 6, which is going to put Schuster out wide. Now, what did you make of Josh Schuster in the 5'8" role? He
was pretty good. His future's definitely in the 6. I'm really looking forward to that.
Is it the size of his body, mate? I think he screams best 13 in the world.
Yeah, he's a big 6. Put it that way.
Yeah, I saw a really good debate amongst Manly fans saying, you know, if he puts his mind to it, he's the best 5'8" in the world. Our friend Mario turned around and said, if he puts his mind to it, he's the best edge or 13 in the world. And I agree with the second part of that. I think that Josh Schuster in a couple of years' time could be the best ball-playing forward that you've seen in a long time.
Good player.
Screams Bradley Clyde, Freddie Fittler role.
I like the Bradley Clyde. That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
But I don't like all this talking positive about Manly. It's making me feel.
I don't like this talk about Manly as well, and I hope they miss the 8, but geez, they've got some fun players.
Yeah, they've got some good players. I think they win this very, very easily.
They do. The Newcastle Knights against the Penrith Panthers. Now, we had a stat the other week that the Knights had only scored like 10 points in 3 games and conceded 120. Penrith's probably going to score 120 in this game.
I'm glad you took that right out from under me. Yeah. I don't think Cleary will play. I don't think Luai will play.
I think one of them will.
Yeah, probably won't play. And they'll still win this in a canter because Newcastle are not good.
No, I think half of them. I think you rest half. You rest half, and then after the second game, you rest the other half.
After they dusted the Bulldogs the other night, they might rest more players just cause.
Well, it's going to depend on how many minutes they play. Like, if Liam Martin doesn't play more than 40 minutes, you're playing. Obviously, Isaiah is going to play
probably
a lot of minutes, so I wouldn't rest him. Play one of the halves.
They'll be fine. They can play me.
Yeah, you play Kurt Falls, you play Sean O'Sullivan. You can probably play both. Who cares?
They'd be fine. I wouldn't worry. They can run out their literal reserve grade team. You know, we've long joked that the Penrith reserve grade team's better than a host of first graders, and Newcastle's one of them.
Look, I'm saying this. Newcastle and the Titans are really, really lucky that the Bulldogs won't win another game this year because they would be in some serious trouble.
Certainly would. And I'm here for it, mate. I'm here for it.
Speaking of serious trouble, the Warriors come up against the Sharks. Now, last time they played, we obviously know Will Kennedy got sent off, Jesse Ramien got sent to the sin bin. We beat the Warriors.
Is that the game plan?
I don't think the game plan is to tell Will Kennedy to go and get sent off again.
Fair enough.
But if it's a bit of an arm wrestle at 12 all, maybe you turn around and go, you know what, Will, go and stiff arm someone.
Just take someone's head off because he didn't play that well last week.
Yeah.
So, look, it's there. It's in the back pocket if we need it.
I think the Sharks win this. The Warriors don't want to be in Australia anymore.
The Sharks have to win this. If they drop this game, Gornsky, season's over. I don't care if we scrape into the 8, even the 4. It is over.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm tipping the mighty Warriors. Jinx, jinx, jinx.
You can't be losing to the Warriors.
They shouldn't lose.
No, you shouldn't lose to the Warriors. Now, one of the forwards who always destroys us, Matt Lodge, decided to take a sabbatical. Thank you very much.
Fanil Blake will not be there either. There are no excuses.
Why is Fanil Blake?
He's injured. Another 3 or 4 weeks, they said. So if Cronulla lose this game...
Yeah, I'm going to pick Cronulla to win this 13+. This is the one time I'm going into a game really confident.
We should win in up there in Moreton Daly Stadium. But jinx,
home of the
mighty jinx, jinx, jinx.
And then we have a Monday afternoon game.
The Queen's birthday, I believe. Maybe not. Yeah. Now that I say that, it makes me think.
God save the Queen.
Yeah.
It is her birthday.
Jubilee.
And the Dogs are playing the Eels now.
So we've disgraced... Sorry, Queen. Oh, we know you're watching. You're a big fan. I apologise on behalf.
Now we're not apologising for our behaviour. We're apologising
no, the game.
We're apologising for putting the Dogs on your birthday.
Yeah, that's... Sorry.
Yeah, we're so sorry. Look, and to make up for that, Parramatta will put 40 on them.
This will be an absolute flogging. Mark my words. There is no way in the world...
This will be a contest.
...that the Eels will lose this game. Lock of the week. Going out on a limb here and saying Parramatta going to win.
You're going out on a limb on a $1.07 favourite. Good work, Dan. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by... That's what I said.
Sorry.
Puncture Media, our good friends at Top Sport, onelittlefootyfan.com.au and the Stubby Club. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please keep trashing us in the comments. We absolutely love it. Just get around us. Instagram, wherever you can. We're on Twitter. We're throwing out quality content on there. And Dan, mate.
I'm not your mate.
I'm not your mate.
I'm not your mate.
I'm not your mate.